Color symbolism is how colors are chosen to symbolize ideas in culture as well as history. It can vary between cultures in addition to different eras. Color is seen as one of the most dynamic elements in design. It is a complex language that represents many facets of symbolism. It is also used in psychology, with Carl Jung using it as a way for patients to represent their psyche through the use of color. Color shades can be associated with specific artists and designers. It evokes emotions, mood, and sensations when used. Warm colors are associated with fire, fall, sunsets, and sunrises. These colors are red, yellow, and orange. Red is linked to fire, violence, warfare, and passion. It can raise blood pressure and respiration rates in individuals. It indicates danger, like in the use of stoplights, signs, and warning labels. It is the easiest to find in nature and is one of the earliest colors to be used in history. Culturally, it is represented in many countries. It symbolizes patriotism in the US through the use of the flag. It symbolizes Christmas with red and green. In China, it represents the color of prosperity and happiness. In India, red is worn by brides, and in South Africa, it represents mourning. It is also represented in Christianity, symbolizing the blood of Christ. In Buddhism, it stands for blood, fire, and life force. In Hinduism, it depicts sensuality and purity. Red is the best used in design to portray power and passion. It is a color that demands attention and creates contrast. Orange represents vibrancy and energy. It is linked with creativity, health, and vitality. It was not considered its own color until the 16th century when Portuguese merchants brought over oranges to Europe, which is why the fruit and the color have the same name. Culturally, it is seen most often in Hindu culture. The specific orange hue, saffron, is worn by holy men. It represents fire and burning away impurities. It is considered the most sacred color in Hinduism. In Buddhism, saffron is historically worn by Buddhist monks because it was the least expensive dye. It represents simplicity and detachment in their culture. In design, orange is attention-seeking. It can be uplifting and cheery. It is also a key shade in many Art Deco palettes. Yellow is the brightest and most energizing of colors. It represents sunshine and happiness, as well as deceit and cowardice. It is linked to danger, but not as much as red. It was a popular color in ancient Greece, Rome, and Egypt. It was seen in ancient Egyptian art and tombs, symbolizing the sun and eternity. It was also a symbol of stigma historically, from marginalized groups having to dress in yellow in early history to the Nazis forcing people of the Jewish faith to wear the Star of David in yellow. Culturally, it has many meanings for each country. In Egypt, it's a sign of mourning. In Japan, it represents courage. In many indigenous nations, yellow is used in religious ceremonies and represented in their flags. In Hindu culture, yellow symbolizes knowledge, learning, happiness, and peace. The god Krishna and Ganesha are often seen in yellow. In design, yellow is a positive color. It is sunny and represents optimism. It is seen as elegant, vibrant, and attention-grabbing depending on the shade. Cool colors, including green, blue, and purple, they are the colors of night, water, and nature. These colors are considered calming, relaxing, and reserved. Green symbolizes new beginnings, growth, renewal, and nature. Early shades of green were made with earth green and malachite. Synthetic greens were made in the 18th to 19th centuries. It was often used in blowing glass and creating statues. Green is the most popular color in the Islamic faith. It is mentioned in the Quran as the color used for garments, furniture, and architecture in paradise. It is also believed to be the Prophet Muhammad's favorite color. In design, green is seen as balanced, restful, and soothing. It is the color that environmental brands and movements use to represent nature and vitality. Dark greens are considered most stable and represent affluence. Blue is linked to sadness in the English language. It represents calmness and responsibility. It also represents peace and spirituality. Blue is often contradictory in meaning, which is why depending on the shade, it can mean many different things. Blue has been used to help calm individuals, lowering respiration and blood pressure. Blue is considered the most popular color in history. It was not widely produced until ancient Egyptians mined it from lapis lazuli. It was used for paint, ink, textile dye, and skin dye. Blue is represented in Christianity as a peaceful color. The Virgin Mary is often depicted wearing blue robes. In Tibetan Buddhism, blue represents the color of Vairashana, or the celestial Buddha, symbolizing the eternal sky. In Hinduism, blue represents determination and strong character. The gods Rama and Krishna often wore blue garments and are depicted with blue faces. In Judaism, blue is used frequently, especially during Hanukkah. In the Torah, Israelites are commanded to dye one of the threads of their prayer shawls blue so that when they see it, they will think of heaven and God. In design, light blues are seen as refreshing and friendly, while dark blues are more strong and reliable. Blue is considered airy, spacious, and contemplative. Purple is linked to creativity and imagination. It represents power and wealth. Purple is historically linked with royalty. This is because the earliest shade of purple, Tyrian purple, was so rare and expensive that only the wealthy and royalty could afford it. There is also a cultural connotation with purple. It is used in many Eastern religions. In Western culture, purple represents luxury and wealth. In Eastern cultures, specifically Thailand, purple is worn by widows in mourning. In design, dark purple symbolizes wealth and royalty. Light purples are linked to romance and spring. Neutral colors are more affected by the colors surrounding them than by warm colors or cool colors. Some of these colors include black, white, gray, and brown. Black is the color of fashion and mourning. It has symbolized fertility, scholarship, and piety. It is linked to beginning and endings. It also represents death, mystery, and the night. Historically, black has represented the gods of death and the underworld. In ancient Egypt, black represented Anubis, the god of the underworld who protected the dead from evil. In Hinduism, black symbolizes Kali, the goddess of time and change. The Christian devil is often seen in black. In design, black is bold, sophisticated, formal, and sleek. It creates drama and confidence. It is the strongest of all neutral colors. White symbolizes purity, cleanliness, and virtue. In Asian cultures, white is the color of death and mourning. For example, in India, widows are only allowed to wear white. In Western cultures, it represents new beginnings and is associated with marriage. In many major religions, white is used to symbolize purity, innocence, and holiness. This includes both Christianity and Judaism. It is the symbol for the body of Christ as well as the color of angels. Culturally, it is most often linked to the healthcare and medical field. In design, white is used as a tool to provide space and create order. It is rarely used as a dominant color. Gray and brown are not dominant historically, which is why the focus will be on how it is used in design. Gray is seen as moody and depressing. In design, it represents a more modern, conservative, and formal look. It is used in corporate designs for its sophisticated look. A darker gray may appear more elegant, while medium gray appears more passive. Brown can communicate richness, earth, warmth, and solidarity. It is used in design to communicate sustainability and organic ideas. Overall, color symbolism has been used for centuries as a way to communicate between cultures and religions. It is a complex and rich history, with many of the word associations coming from historical connotations. Without color, many cultures would not be able to communicate. Colors can affect our emotions in the way that words can't, evoking both positive and negative meanings. Van Gogh has said, "Instead of trying to reproduce exactly what I see before me, I make more arbitrary use of colors to express myself more forcefully." This is how many artists can add more meaning to their designs. Through the use of color and the symbolism it has attained over historical, cultural, and religious ideology. Remember, color can achieve meaning more than words, which is why being thoughtful about the use of colors can achieve much more than any aspect of design.